Texas Tech, at the heart of Lubbock, a huge university that covers almost 3 square miles, and everything outside the campus is just as spread out. So, when I first came here, I kept wondering what would be the best transportation method for me. Like, at first, I was thinking about getting a bicycle, then I thought maybe an electric scooter would be better, then I tried the bus and thought maybe that's enough, and later I started thinking about getting a car. So, from all the confusion, one question kept coming back to my mind is that how do Texas Tech students actually get around in Lubbock, and how does that affect the size of their walls and also their overall monthly expenses? And to understand that, the first thing we have to look at where the students live. Like Texas Tech has 18 residential halls, and there are also some popular off-campus apartments. And if we divide them by locations, the campus naturally splits into two sides. The eastern side includes halls like Murray, Chitwood, Talkington, Gates, and this area has one big advantage, that is the University Avenue, because in this particular place there are like so many food places, supermarkets, Walmart, Subway, and many of those are like within walking distance. The students living here can buy food, snacks, or whatever they want whenever they want without relying on any kind of vehicle. But if you think about the western side, let's say if you live in West Village, then the story is completely different, because the nearest Walmart is about 2 miles away. You want to watch a movie, it's like 2.5 miles or something. So most students living here, walking is definitely not enough, so you almost need a car. And you can actually see the difference in the map based on the available parking spots. Like the west side of the campus has way more parking areas compared to the east. So this says a lot about how the students are supposed to move here. But if you think about just going to the class, most students, like on both sides, and also students who live off campus, rely heavily on the city bus. It's free, it's run continuously, and the routes are simple, helpful, and if you can manage the time, then it's good. But the thing is, it ends at 6:30 p.m. If you need to stay a little longer at the university, then there will be no buses. That's why a lot of the students use the TD ride sharing app that's called the Take Ride. But Take Ride has its own problem. The average waiting period is like around 20 minutes. Sometimes the service doesn't work, the app crashes. So at night, and especially on the weekends, students usually fall for their own car, bicycle, scooters, maybe skateboards, and there is also a huge population who use Uber and Lyft heavily. And these differences actually shape how big or small the world becomes for students in Lubbock, because this is also tied to the overall expenses. So focusing on the expenses a little more, the average monthly expense for a car owner, like including parking, insurance, gas, and everything, is around $140 to $180. And majority of the car owners are domestic students. International students usually do not get a car because of the license requirements and some extra legal process and fees. So they often stay closer to the campus and they really explore beyond a certain radius. And the most convenient option is actually the electric scooter. It's good for short and medium distances and sometimes even longer ones, and it barely costs anything, around 10 to 15 USD just for the charge. And the highest cost actually falls on the students who live off campus and rely heavily on Uber and Lyft. Their monthly expenses can easily go over $200 like in some months. So this patterns show how transportation in Lubbock is connected to where you live, how far you can travel, and how much you end up spending just by depending on the variable which dorm you live in. And just because of those, each group of students experience the city in different ways. So I'd like to share some of the interviews that I did with some students, and here are the interviews.
My name is Jason. On campus, I take the bus to my mostly biology classes and chemistry classes. For my personal life, I take my car to like the movies, to my work. Yeah.
And what do you think your like average monthly cost is like for transportation?
For gas, it's about 25 for a month.
And like you don't pay for anything for like parking and stuff?
No, I already paid for the spot here.
And what about the insurances and those kind of things?
Insurance, I'm not sure. My parents are actually covering that, so I'm not even sure how much it costs.
I guess, do you think like it's better than using the ride sharing apps like Uber, Lyft, and those kind of things?
Driving my car?
Yeah.
I'd say driving myself is more like dependable because I have to wait for Tech Ride or whoever else or asked to pick me up and drop me off.
Okay, so that's the most convenient form, right?
More
Okay.
convenient for me.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. So I'm Jaden. I'm an international student, and I mainly just use a bike to get around the campus and stuff. But for longer travel, I might use I use the bus. But the only cost that I've spent on air transport is just the purchase of the bike itself.
How much was it, do you think?
Like $100.
Okay, like, don't you like travel a little bit farther down the city and something like that?
Nah, the furthest I've gone
So you're
is just using the bus.
staying around the campus, right?
Or someone might give me a lift to somewhere.
So that's the overall cost, that's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yes, so hello, my name is Tamjid Hassan, and I'm an international student here in Texas Tech University. I'm a freshman, and talking about transportation, so since I live in Bledsoe Hall, which is located in Texas Tech, which is an on-campus dorm, so I usually don't use a lot of transportation. I can just walk to my class, but if I do use a transportation, it's usually the bus, which is in the campus.
Okay, so what do you do on the weekends? Don't you go somewhere far in the city or something?
Yeah, sure. So sometimes, I mean, not every weekend, but whenever I go outside, I usually take an Uber. So around, I think it costs around like $6 to $7 per ride. So that would be like my only cost regarding transportation.
So what's your average cost in a month?
Average cost in a month is pretty much low. I would say around $20. That would be my average in an entire month, because I usually use the on-campus transportation most of the time.
Okay, so I think University Avenue is closer to you, right? So you can go and buy things.
Yeah,
Everything.
I can just use the bus for everywhere. So I'm very happy for that.
Have you ever thought about buying a bike or e-scooter or something like that?
Well, since I'm living on campus right now, so that I didn't take that decision yet. But later in the future, if I need any, I will definitely make sure to buy. But now, right now, I don't have any decision of buying a bike or motorcycle.
Okay, so you're just riding bus and walking, right? That's it.
Yes, I'm just riding bus and walking throughout my classes.
Okay, thank you.
So looking at all of these things together, the pattern is kind of visible that domestic students often rely on cars because they kind of grow up driving, and the legal process is also easier for them. And international students usually depend on buses, scooters, maybe bicycle, or sometimes walking, which naturally limits how much of Lubbock they get to explore. It's not about good or bad, but it's simply how life is shaped by distance, cost, and access. And seeing these differences made me realize that even though we all study at Texas Tech, we each experience a different version of Lubbock, and how far we can go, what can we see, and how connected we feel to the city. And this project does not try to argue for a method of transportation or which is better, which is not, but it just tries to simply show the reality that students face living in Lubbock every day.